Oh, that's very simple to answer. How did I come on Aliyah? Why did I come to live in Israel? It's a combination of a number of things. As I mentioned earlier, I was here for a year at the age of 18, a gap year between school and university. And I didn't know how, why, but I knew that at the end of that year, I had to come back to Israel and live permanently. And I vaguely realized that the sooner I did it, the better, the fewer connections I would have to leave alone. Obviously, family connections were very strong. So, having lived in the country, but as a tourist, I knew I wanted to come back because I just loved what I'd seen. Exactly what, I don't know, but I'd loved it. Maybe it was all the hummus, I don't know. But behind all that, there was obviously family stories, but only with hindsight did I realize how important they were. So we have here in the house a picture of my great-grandfather. Now, my great-grandfather on my father's side was born in Iraq, and he left Iraq somewhere just after the First World War to join his son, my grandfather, and go to live in England. He wasn't very happy in England. And meanwhile, 2 of his sisters, or 3 of his sisters, not sure which, had come to live in what was called Palestine at the time. He bought for his sisters a house in Jerusalem, which was just emerging out of the shadows of the First World War in 1925. And actually, we recently, about 10 years ago, found that house. It was very interesting to see. And he ended up being buried here. I don't know why, but somehow that sort of filtered down to me, that half story, which I pieced together over the years. And then on top of it, it turned out that my grandmother, I would say his daughter-in-law, she in the 1948, 1949, helped to fund an ambulance in the new state of Israel. She got a lot of friends to put some money together, and they bought an ambulance for the country. And there are this plethora of stories throughout our lives, my sister's lives, about helping Israel, being close to Israel, when the Six-Day War erupted, when the 1973 Yom Kippur War erupted. We, without even having been to Israel, we were very close to what was happening. We were listening to the news, and it meant something. So all of that together, I suppose, somehow was in the blood and made me come to Israel.